Why hello there, Salomdi back again, and this is just going to be some Assassin gameplay, quite stompy. I mean, I haven't been recording lately, kind of because my internet's been shit, and also I can't be bothered because exams. So yeah, sorry, that's actually the main reason why I haven't been uploading at the moment. I've been revising for my exams and actually playing the game. It's good fun. I've also been playing League of Legends as well, simply because I'm having good fun with that. And yeah, I'm actually going to try not watching gameplay whilst I commentate this time, since yeah, you guys heard my last commentary where basically I'd be talking like this, and then all of a sudden I'm watching it. Yeah, basically that was what was happening in the last one. I was literally just talking, and then I got distracted by the gameplay. Um, Simply because I kind of have a really short attention span. I don't know why it is. But yeah. Um, anyway, how's everyone been? How's everyone enjoying the beta? I mean, I spoke to Eka yesterday, and he says that there's the possibility that not this Thursday, but next Thursday, and it's only a possibility that products coming out, which should be quite cool. I mean, it would be pretty cool to finally be able to use them. I mean, they haven't been unlocked since September. And yeah, I want to play around with some of the ones that we had back then, when the products weren't completely standard across all of the across all of the classes. And I mean, there were some really good ones. For example, there was one that was yeah, it gives you 10% of your cash on hand as cash in game, and it's capped at a certain amount, but I can't remember what it is. I think it was 10, but it might have been 100. It was something like that, and I think that would be pretty much one of the best choices currently. You know, and also, you know, those Healy bombs, those used to be atom bombs, which were a pain in the arse in the when they first were introduced. They have had massive knockback, were quite difficult to avoid because their radius was huge. Literally, I think it was the size of a level 4 airstrike, and I mean, they're difficult enough to avoid if you don't see them coming. But anyway, basically they were pissing everyone off, because basically, like, they would take a chunk of your health for killing someone if you were a close range class, such as assassin or veteran, or you like grapple rape the person, and oh my god, it was just so obnoxious. You actually have no idea. I mean, as an assassin, it wasn't that bad when I realized it was coming, because I'd just immediately like try and run away as quickly as possible, which is one of the strengths of the assassin, and Spark, if I'm honest. Spark's actually better than running away than assassin, but let's not go into that now. But yeah, it was just really obnoxious. You can imagine why. Actually, thinking back, the gunslinger was actually ridiculously overpowered. Like way better than sniper at sniping. Not over really long ranges, but at mid range she was an absolute god. Her headshot damage was quite high, and Trigger Happy was on a relatively low cooldown. So basically, she'd just destroy everyone. And like, no joke, just literally had no chance, especially if Hentai Tentacle Rape Wu, or Mr. HTRW, as he's sometimes known. But yeah, him, that one, the one with the ridiculously good aim and plays Osu religiously. Yeah, you get the picture. But basically, he'd just join a game as Gunslinger and just destroy everyone by clicking heads. I think he was the reason why the head-clicking troll sniper outfit was made, actually, if I'm not entirely mistaken. Another one of the kinda silly endorsements was this one on the Assassin that meant that when you dropped under, I think it was 5% health, you you waited a second, then got teleport. You could wait for like, I think it was 2-3 seconds, and then you get teleported back to spawn. And because it was on the Assassin, you had such a tiny window of opportunity in order to do it, because your health pool is so low that like when you did manage to get away because of it, it was so sweet. I only ever managed it like once or twice. But yeah, it was so sweet when it worked, but it was practically worthless otherwise. What were the other ones? Oh yeah, there was the the slow debuff canceller thingy. Basically, when you after after I think it was level 5. I'm pretty sure it was level 5 anyway. After level 5, you'd get this blue ring around you, and basically what it would do is it would cause the first slow or stun or movement debuff, if you get what I mean, effect to hit you to be cancelled, and then it had like a recharge time. And it was pretty useless. I mean, like there was literally it had barely any usage, seeing as there were hardly any slows in the game. Pretty much it was purely Gunslinger's kneecap, and also a tank charge, I think, and maybe assault charge as well. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, they were like the only. Oh yeah, and also ice traps. How could I forget those? But they were like the only slow effects in the game, so they were it was kind of worthless, which was kind of funny, kind of weird. But yeah, that was that one. The other one that is still in the game, it's the over armor products. That's the reason why people late game have basically 1.5 times their health pool, and it's kind of annoying at the moment because that combined with the latest patch, which buffed the health and buffed Enforcer health accidentally, I think I'll put it. It basically just means that Enforcers are ridiculously difficult to kill late game, especially if you're playing a Commando class. You've got no hope. You've got pretty much just got to spam. Well, I don't know about Westcott because I don't really play him, but basically you've got to just spam your blinds and hope for the best, really. And also, if you can, initiate with a back grapple. That really helps. But yeah, it's kind of annoying, this new health calculation method, because it really makes the difference in health between Enforcers and commandos. There we go. Brain derp. But yeah, it really makes the health difference really noticeable between Enforcers and Commandos. It's kind of obnoxious as if you're a Commando, especially when it comes to skills such as the Gunner's rocket. Fucking hell, I was playing in a match earlier, and a Gunner was 2 levels below me, yet his rockets were taking like about a fifth of my health. Like literally like 20% every time you fired them, and considering the cooldown that they're on, it's kind of ridiculous if I'm perfectly honest. It's similar with Cheston's Rampage, but not as bad because that's slightly easier to stop. And if he tries to barrel you, he hurts himself, so kind of good for you. But yeah, at the moment I'm enjoying the game. A few gripes, um, as you can probably tell. Actually, my main one at the moment is ping. My ping's actually like being really obnoxious. I don't know why, but like most of my grapples are failing when they really shouldn't. Um, and yeah, okay. Here's a bit of a funny story. I don't know how funny you guys will find it, but basically it got me to the point of actually like rage quitting a game. But basically, last Saturday, no, it was Sunday, but not that it really matters. But anyway, basically, I'd signed up for the skill play, went in on my for my first match, went and like it was okay. Um, and I went up to the jungle. Tried to have a grapple fight with the other jungler. My grapple failed, and they got a really bullshit lag grapple off of me out of the air. And pretty much that sets the tone for the entire rest of the match. They'd accidentally chosen West Coast servers, even though when their team had I think their team was all American, and our team had 3 Europeans. So basically, we just had to abandon the match because 3 of us were just lagging so hard that we literally couldn't do anything. I mean, I was playing Assassin, and the game was literally unplayable. It was horrible. Um, and yeah. Um, oh yeah. About League of Legends. Pretty much, I've just been playing it with the guys that I used to do my MNC stuff with. You know, well, he used to be called Flutcheye Commissioner, but he's actually called Dragon Satu. Also, Tomiyak and Raichu and Daz. Um, well, no, Daz hasn't actually. Daz really hates League of Legends with a passion, if I'm perfectly honest. But hey, it's fair enough to him. I mean, if you're not really coming from a game, well, if you're coming up straight from TF2, it can be kind of boring. I found it really boring apart from Dominion, which was alright when I first started playing. Dominion's pretty good fun. Or rather was, then I kind of got bored of the matches being 10 minutes long because it's almost guaranteed to be a stomp either way. But yeah, it's League of Legends is fun. Oh yeah, I forgot Flutter Sniper, I think. Yeah. But yeah, we've basically been playing League of Legends and enjoying it more or less. I mean, we're not particularly good, so we can't stomp whatsoever. But well, not unless the enemy team is full of a bunch of quadriplegic feeding retards, as you do sometimes get, which is fun. Not gonna lie, if you get it in SMNC too. Whenever new players get on, they just feed so horribly. To be honest, I feed horribly if I'm not playing one of the classes that I'm good at. The classes that I tend to be good at are basically the ones that, well, Carl. The 3 classes that I'm good at are Carl, because he's got good burst and has a stun which allows him to escape, and Assault's because he has the most ridiculous farm in game. His bomb can just clear bot waves like no other. And Assassin, who you can see me playing here, who does stuff like this. And if you don't know what stuff like this is, yeah, it's basically just taking advantage of the enemy team's mistakes, and trying to solo out the people on low health and the person at the bottom of the enemy team's scoreboard, because you should probably be a few levels higher than them. the person at the bottom of the enemy team's scoreboard. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more to talk about. Well, I guess I could talk about what I'm doing in my exams at the moment. I've got my first one on Friday, so that's not tomorrow, but the day after. It's Mechanics 2, which is quite easy considering I'm doing Mechanics 3 in parallel with it, which is the unit that builds on top of that. So basically, Mechanics 2 is very easy in comparison to Mechanics 3. Just generally. I mean, there's some stuff that can be quite confusing, but generally, as long as you're quite thorough with your working, and you don't make mistakes, you can get a pretty high mark without much effort. If I'm perfectly honest, all you've got to really have is basically good visualization skills and just make sure you're drawing diagrams. Mechanics 3 is a lot more complicated and requires you to actually have a good understanding of the subjects. Then I'm doing statistics 2, because I'm doing both maths and further maths. And statistics too. It's actually really easy in terms of the actual maths. It's just that you've got if you make a mistake early on in the question, you basically have got the whole question wrong. You can only pick up working marks, which is kind of annoying. Like especially with this one thing that's like kind of obscure, which is when you approximate binomial to binomial distribution to either a Poisson distribution or a normal distribution, and you guys have probably shut down the video now because you have no fucking clue what I'm talking about, and this is probably quite boring to you, and to be honest it's a bit boring for me, but what the heck. Yeah, just giving you an insight into what I do. Yeah, SAS 2 is pretty easy. Then I've got Core 3, which is just ridiculously easy, especially since Mechanics 3 is actually more complicated than Stats 2. Not Stats 2, Mechanics 3 is more complicated than Core 3 in terms of the actual core mathematics that you have to do for it. Which is kind of funny. And then, as well as that, I've got physics and chemistry. Physics should be alright. It's a short exam and it overlaps a lot with Mechanics 3. And Mechanics 3 does it in greater depth. But the wordy questions in physics kind of difficult in that they're quite strange in how you have to word them. And then chemistry is just a bitch. I mean, I haven't got my ISA back yet, and if I did well in that, then I should do well in the real thing. I hope I did well, and I think I did well, but I'm not sure. But yeah, hopefully I can actually do half decent in my chemistry. It's, if I'm perfectly honest, my weakest subject. So yeah. Then, oh yeah, I've also been watching that new anime recently called Higurashi no Nakakoro ni, which is good, although kind of really weird. And it seems to like, well, basically somebody recommended it to me, and it seems to have continuity issues, but apparently it all makes sense once you've watched the entire first season, so I'm just going to trust them on it. Yeah, anyway, I think I've talked a bit too much, so yeah, bye.
stay in their